Hey, welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something a little different.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's about relationships, but
Okay.
not quite in the way you might be thinking.
All right, I'm intrigued.
So it's all about becoming the right partner before you even start looking for someone.
Huh. That's interesting. Flipping the script a bit.
Exactly. The material we're looking at today is this podcast episode. It's called Becoming the Right Partner, a heart prepared for God's blessing in marriage.
Okay, so definitely focusing on marriage here.
Yeah, and even if marriage isn't necessarily your goal, I think there's a lot we can all take away from this.
For sure. Relationships in general.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was this shift from focusing on what you get in a relationship to what you can give.
Oh, yeah. That resonates with, personal growth in general.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they use this verse from Proverbs to kind of kick things off.
Which one?
It says, "He who finds a wife finds happiness. It is a favor he obtains from the Lord." Yeah, but what I thought was really cool was they didn't just stop there.
Right, because there's more to it than just finding someone.
Exactly. They dig deeper into what it really means to be a source of happiness for someone else.
Not just expecting to receive it.
Yeah, and they even use this analogy talking about being like a leech in a relationship.
Oh, wow. Okay. Strong image.
Right. Like if you're always focused on your own needs, always taking, you end up draining the relationship.
Instead of contributing to it.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of cultivating a giving, selfless mindset before you even enter a relationship comes in.
Makes sense. Building that foundation.
Yeah, and I really loved this line where the speaker said, "God wants to make you the woman of someone's dreams. There's a man out there fervently praying for God to give him a wife."
Wow. So it's almost like your personal growth becomes part of God's plan.
Right, and they actually have this prayer for a heart prepared for marriage in the episode that I found really powerful.
What kind of stuff does it talk about?
It's all about humility, service, and just this deep desire to be a blessing to your future spouse.
I like that. It's not just about finding the person. It's about becoming the right person for them.
Yeah, and it's not just about trying harder on your own either. They talk about seeking God's guidance in the process.
So it's like a collaborative effort.
Exactly. And then toward the end of the episode, they ask this really thought-provoking question. They say, "Are you ready to become the person God has designed you to be for your future spouse?"
Ooh, that's a good one. It really makes you stop and think.
Right. It's like a challenge to really look inward and assess your readiness. And what's even more interesting is they encourage listeners to think beyond just marriage.
Oh, how so?
Well, they talk about how this whole concept, this idea of self-improvement to benefit others, it applies to all relationships.
So it's not just about romantic relationships, but friendships, family.
Exactly. It's about becoming a better person overall and how that ripples out into every area of your life.
So it's really about personal growth with a purpose?
Absolutely. And I think that's something we can all get behind. Okay, so we've talked about this idea of becoming the right partner, but what does that even look like in real life?
Yeah, that's a good question. The source material actually delves into this concept of becoming a woman after God's heart.
That sounds pretty specific.
It does, right? But even if someone listening isn't particularly religious, I think the underlying idea is still really relevant.
You mean like striving to live in alignment with your values?
Exactly. It's about living with intention, purpose, and trying to embody certain qualities.
Oh, like what kind of qualities?
Well, they actually list a few specifically: humility, strength, patience, kindness, that sort of thing.
Okay, those definitely sound like good partner qualities, but what I find interesting is how they connect those to building strong relationships in general.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. It's like whether we're talking romantic relationships, friendships, family dynamics, these qualities kind of create a baseline for trust and respect.
It's like it benefits both you and the people around you.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And they even talk about how prayer can play a role in this process of becoming the right partner.
I'm curious, what do they mean by that?
Well, it's not just about praying for the right person to come along, but also praying for guidance in becoming the kind of person you need to be for that relationship.
How I get it. It's about the inner work.
Right. And they actually share this powerful prayer where they ask God to, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically remove pride and rebellion from their heart and help them become a woman after God's own heart.
There's a lot of humility in that, a willingness to surrender.
Right. It's acknowledging that we don't have all the answers. And then they take it a step further. They talk about praying for your future partner, even if you haven't met them yet.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's not about trying to magically manifest someone, but more about inviting a higher power into the process asking for guidance and preparation for both yourself and your future partner.
It's almost like laying the groundwork for a strong relationship before it even begins.
Exactly. It's about setting intentions and trusting that things will unfold as they should.
Hmm.
And it really emphasizes this idea that we're not just passively waiting for things to happen to us, we can actively participate in creating the life and relationships we want.
I like that. It's empowering. Now, one thing that really resonated with me was how they talked about recognizing your own value and worthiness of love.
Ugh, yes. That's something so many of us struggle with, but is crucial.
For sure. They remind us that we all have a unique purpose and we all deserve happiness and fulfilling relationships. But
But we also have a responsibility to prepare ourselves for those blessings.
totally, it's not just about sitting back and waiting. It's about doing the inner work, cultivating those qualities we discussed, and aligning ourselves with our values.
And approaching it all with a spirit of humility,
Hmm.
recognizing we're always a work in progress. It's not about being perfect. It's about growth and transformation.
And I think that's something we can all take to heart, no matter where we are in our journey.
As we're wrapping up here, I just keep thinking back to this one line from the episode.
Oh, which one?
They said, "Woman, you are a grace of favor for a handsome young man somewhere. God has the best in store for you. Don't forget it."
It's so encouraging, right? Like just a good reminder that there's someone out there for everyone.
Yeah, and that we have a role to play in making ourselves ready for that connection.
Exactly. Like it's not just about waiting around hoping to bump into the perfect person.
Right. It's about actively becoming the best version of yourself.
So that when that person does come along, you're ready to build something amazing.
It's almost like this whole episode reframes the idea of finding love.
Totally. Like it's less about the search and more about that journey of self-discovery that happens along the way.
It's so powerful. Like instead of all that pressure to find the one, we can focus on just becoming the best versions of ourselves.
And I think that's such a valuable message for anyone listening, really, whether you're actively looking for a partner or not. Yeah, for sure.
Like these ideas of self-awareness and personal growth and cultivating a giving mindset, those are important for any relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess as we wrap up our deep dive today, the question I want to leave everyone with is this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about all those qualities we discussed: humility, strength, patience, kindness.
Yeah.
If you could pick one to really focus on developing to bring more happiness to your future partner, which would it be?
That's a good one. And maybe even more importantly, what's one small step you can take, like this week, to start working on that?
Love it. It doesn't have to be a huge overnight transformation. It's about those small, consistent actions.
Exactly. Those little steps add up over time.
And hey, maybe in the process of becoming the right partner, you'll also find more happiness and fulfillment within yourself.
No, that's a win-win. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time.